Hello everyone, Marc Daniel Patrick here, musical theater coach. Thank you so much for taking time to check out the channel. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you can find me on Instagram at Marc Daniel Patrick or at my website at marcdanielpatrick.com. Today I thought we'd answer the question, what do you get when you put Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Robert Lopez all in the same room? Okay, more specifically, what do you get when you put the creators of South Park and the composer of Avenue Q in the same room? There you go. You get the Book of Mormon. First opening on Broadway in March of 2011, the Book of Mormon pulls off something of a miracle in the fact that it both embraces and makes fun of all forms of religion, and yes, that includes worshiping at the altar of our beloved musical theater. Tony-nominated Andrew Rannells originated the role of Elder Price on Broadway, and he performs our number for us today. From the Book of Mormon, this is I Believe.
Ever since I was a child, I tried to be the best. So what happened? My family and friends all said I was blessed. So what happened? It was supposed to be all so exciting, to be teaching of Christ across the sea. But I allowed my faith to be shaken. Oh, what's the matter with me?
As I mentioned off the top, some very blatant musical theater references. That's obviously a nod to The Sound of Music right there. They're not even trying to hide it at this point.
Always longed to help the needy, to do the things I never dared. This was the time for me to step up. So then why was I so scared? A warlord who shoots people in the face. What's so scary about that?
Again, another one, obviously very blatant Sound of Music reference. And I love how he almost changes his voice a little bit to try and mimic Maria almost. So good.
I must trust that my Lord is mightier and always has my back. Now I must be completely devout. I can't have even one shred of doubt.
See the vowel change there? Doubt is an OU sound, so doubt, but he changes it to an A sound. Makes it a little bit easier for the vocal cords to grab onto it and for that vowel to resonate. Very well done.
I believe that the Lord God created the universe. I believe that He sent His only Son to die for my sins. And I believe that ancient Jews built boats and sailed to America. I am a Mormon, and a Mormon just believes.
Okay, first of all, he moves his head a little bit too much for me, but that's neither here nor there. Secondly, though, let's try and pay attention to, and we may reference this again during the course of this number, but let's try and pay attention to how he's going to play the comedic moments in this song. I just want you to try and pay attention to that. We'll come back to it and maybe talk about what we think about how he approached playing the comedy of this song.
I believe that God has a plan for all of us. I believe that plan involves me getting my own planet. And I believe that the current president of the church, Thomas Monson, speaks directly to God. I am a Mormon. And dang it, a Mormon just believes.
Now the opposite for this one, the E vowel, is very hard to sing usually, especially when you're jumping to a higher note. But he keeps it as an E vowel instead of adding that A to make it more belay almost, right? Which would change the sound of the word, and maybe he doesn't want that. It's not too high of a note to hit, so maybe that's why he leaves it as an E vowel, and he's able to round it out. It's a preference thing. He's able to do, it doesn't sound strained at all when he's singing it, so it really is just a preference, and you kind of let him go with however he wants to shape the vowels. But normally you'd maybe want to make an A shape there just to make it a little bit more round and make it sound less strained. But again, his doesn't sound that strained, so it's maybe not an issue for him.
I know that I must go and do the things my God commands. I realize now why He sent me here. If you ask the Lord in faith, He will always answer you. Just believe in Him and have no fear.
It's a little bit difficult in those moments there. I'll tell you, it's a difficult moment on stage when you're singing what's really the bridge of the song. It's not a beautiful melody for the audience, to sway back and forth to. There's not a lot of action going on. You're alone, all alone by yourself on stage. So you need to find something to do to create some sort of meaning for you to be on stage. Really, that whole part right there is really just adding context to the song, right? And like I said, it's not a beautiful melody that you can really sing out and hang your hat on. So really, stomping around stage wouldn't be my choice for how to approach that. But he does pull out a prop, which is a great lesson to learn. Give yourself a prop, give yourself something to do. How he pulls out his book there and references that, and it gives him something to hang on to and kind of distracts the audience a little bit. But when you're alone on stage like that during a rough, not a rough part, but during a bit of a slow part of the song there, it's hard to really find something to do. When I was on stage, I used to always use my costume. So for example, here he could have, before he comes on stage, he could have like loosened his tie a little bit more and maybe unbuttoned one shirt. So as he's going through those lines, he's maybe just buttoning his shirt up and doing up his tie so that he's getting ready to barge in on the camp. There's just little things you could do on stage to create more of a world around you and give you something to do and make it a little bit more believable. It's not a big thing, but it's just to be able to create a little bit of a world for yourself while you're on stage singing maybe a little bit of a slower or difficult part of a piece.
We have an intruder. He just walked right into camp.
I believe that Satan has a hold of you. I believe that the Lord God has sent me here. And I believe that in 1978 God changed his mind about black people.
It's a hilarious, genius line, but you watch him, he references the audience a little bit. He reacts to their reaction. It's a small thing and you're nitpicking, or I'm nitpicking, obviously, but I really wish he would just stay in that and not make it a tongue-in-cheek sort of thing. So when I said at the beginning of let's see how he addresses the comedic moments, for the most part, he's playing it very straight, which is exactly how you need to play comedy. Comedy really needs to be played straighter than drama. And it sounds weird to say, but the straighter you play comedy, the funnier it is, because these characters really believe the situations they're in and really believe what they're saying. And the reactions he gets from, everyone in the camp make it even funnier. So if you all of a sudden break and look at the audience and say, look at the joke I just made, it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. Again, I'm being nitpicky, but playing it straight is the key to comedy, honestly. Staying in it and believing what you're doing and not sort of poking fun at yourself. So playing it straight can really help you be more successful when you're playing those comedic moments.
This is the moment I was born to do. And I feel so incredible to be sharing my faith with you. The scriptures say that if you ask in faith, if you ask God himself, you'll know. But you must ask him without any doubt and let your spirit grow.
Now now here's another lesson. It's a little thing, but playing those, that's a great moment for him to go over and to go over and kneel down in front of him. It's a great comedic moment. Now, of course, this entire number is very planned and they'd be repeating the same actions 8 times a week, every single show they do. But it's a good lesson here of saying yes in theater. So it's the number one rule of improv is to always say yes. But what if Andrew goes over and decides to sit on his lap one night instead of kneeling in front of him and trying to hold his hand? If he tries to create a different moment and just sits on his lap, I would hope that Tony and Emmy-nominated actor Brian Tyree Henry would just go along with it, as he should, because you're just saying yes to that moment. It's something different. It's still going to be comedic. You say yes to that moment and continue with the scene. It's, again, all of these are very, very planned, but if something different happens on stage and an actor decides to take a different impulse, it's very important for all the other actors on stage to say yes and go with it. This way works for them, obviously. It's hilarious. It's a great moment, but it's a small lesson. And if you want to change it up and go with a different impulse, you need to trust your other actors to say yes and go with you. I love it. He creates so many different layers with this performance and kind of goes almost in and out of consciousness, really. And it's not unlike when when you believe something so wholeheartedly, you just kind of lose yourself and no one can talk you out of it. Nothing that happens can talk you out of it. And he's just sort of, and I love how he lets himself, just kind of fall into that bliss of just believing, what he was taught. And it creates a nice layer to come in and out of during the whole piece.
And you'll know it's all true, you'll just feel it. You'll be a Mormon, and by gosh, a Mormon doesn't just believe. A Mormon just I believe.
He turns the whole thing into such a religious experience, holding hands with your friends, you're in a whole community of people and you're just praising whatever God you believe in and just, throwing caution to the wind and just letting your heart sing out. That's such a beautiful moment. I love that part. And I love that the audience acknowledges it and comes alive and basically moves along with him in the song. It's such a great moment.
I believe.
My God, so good. Obviously, when you sit and enjoy it for 4.5 minutes, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on. But in truth, there are so many layers that need to come into this performance to make it what it is. We went through a couple of them there, but it's just so perfect. All the different layers he puts into that, and that's exactly why Andrew was Tony nominated for this role, and rightfully so. So if you haven't had a chance to see this show, I encourage you, once musical theater is back up and running, to get out and see this show. You won't be disappointed. It is a little bit crass, of course, prepare yourself for that. It kind of reminds me of the show The Producers in a way, where they were able to get away with insulting so many people or a group of people, but they did it in such a heartfelt, wholesome, Rodgers and Hammerstein way that you kind of forgive them for it. And that's the beauty of it, really. And the book, the music, the choreography, all of it comes together in such a fantastic show. So I do encourage you to go see this one. If anyone has any more videos or can find any videos of this show being done, I would love to review many more numbers. As everyone knows who has seen the show, there are quite a few top-notch numbers in this show. Throw them in the comments below, and I promise I will get to making a video on them very, very soon. Okay, that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment of any future videos you'd like to see as well. Until next time, I'm Marc Daniel Patrick, and thanks so much for watching.